Good morning, everybody. Tequila here, and welcome back to another video. To start today's video off, we are actually going to be announcing the winner of the large gem pack giveaway from episode 10 of Tequila's Tower. So, big congratulations here to Carter Lane 4013. I have responded in the video where the giveaway was announced, and this is kind of the post update for it. But if you could either reply to that comment, put it in the comment section of this video, or just DM me on Discord, send me the player ID that you would like the giveaway gem pack to go to, and I will get that taken care of as soon as I see it. So just reach out, and congratulations again to Carter Lane 4013. But getting into this video, kind of took the inspiration a little bit from Spartan's video, but it had me kind of wanting to get on here and publicly share my opinion of the ultimate weapons for the game. And big disclaimer here, tier lists are very subjective. So this is my tier list, this is my opinion, this is not necessarily correct or anything like that, but I definitely think the most important part of a tier list is the conversation about each individual item and not necessarily the in-screen of the tier list where everything is positioned. So, with that all being said, once again, shout out to Mr. Spartan here. But we're going to go ahead and take Deathwave, and we're shoving it up into the S tier. I think Spartan is correct. There's just too much that Deathwave gives you for it not to be S tier. Actually, sorry, before we do that, we are going to go and talk about the positioning here. So I have positioned these ultimate weapons in the order that I think is meta for a newer account to get them in. So to start out, you have the golden trio here of Golden Tower, Black Hole, and Deathwave. After you get the golden trio, you should be hoping for a Spotlight 4th. Then you would want a Chain Lightning into either Chrono Field or ILM, and then into either Poison Swamp or Smart Missile. The ILM Chrono Field can be swapped around, same as the Poison Swamp Smart Missiles can be swapped around. This is more personal preference on which one you get first of the two, but I feel like it is Golden Trio into Spotlight, into Chain Lightning, and then these two for CC, and then these two for the final two ultimate weapons that are kind of damaged, but also mostly not. But getting straight into the video here, following Spartan's ranking, Deathwave is going straight into the S tier. I think it just gives absolutely too much for it to go anywhere else. It is at a baseline with no labs going to give you a 5x health multiplier, which in the very early game, like when you're first starting the account, is absolutely massive. It is a huge health multiplier. It's going to help you get into those later game tier 1 farming, which the longer you go in your runs, getting closer to that spawn cap, the more money you make, the more cells you make, the better everything is. So with the EHP alone, it would make Deathwave good. But then on top of that, it gives you not only a coin multiplier, but also one of the only cell multipliers in the game. And if you notice, almost every single farming module is going to include a legendary or higher Deathwave quantity, because it is, in my opinion, the single most important module substat in the entire game is Deathwave quantity for farming. And it kind of helps in tournaments even, where you're going, as long as you're running EHP, you're going to be getting more ticks and more Deathwave health from that. And then, like I mentioned, it is yet another coin multiplier, so as long as you have it synced with the golden trio here, then you are going to get a massive gain from Deathwave itself. And then, for once you are switching into Glass Cannon, it also includes the damage. So it's kind of an all-arounder. It gives you EHP in the early game, it gives you the damage for the late game, and then all the way through it's giving you a massive cell and coin increase. Following Deathwave, we're going to go ahead and go with Black Hole, which was my personal first ultimate weapon, and I think it goes in A tier. It's very, very close, in my opinion, to actually jumping up into this S tier, purely because of Primordial Collapse. The extra coverage that you get, because you get an extra Black Hole, is insane, as you can see on my tower here, on the left. And then as well, the module effect of Primordial Collapse. When I had this at a mythic, so 65% damage reduction, going to a perma black hole gained me about 1200 waves in tier 10, which was a roughly 15% coin increase and a almost 30% cell increase. So with Primordial Collapse, I think Black Hole is really, really good, but it does take a little bit of investment to get there. But just simply syncing it with the Golden Trio, it's amazing. Even without Primordial Collapse, it's absolutely amazing. But that is my reasoning for it being at the very top of A tier. And following that is actually going to be Golden Tower, also in A tier. I think Spartan's a little crazy putting it down in B, but you know, that's part of the reason of the topic and everybody's opinions. So with the Golden Tower here, of the three, even though I recommend getting it first, it is in my opinion, the worst of the three. So it is the highest econ ultimate weapon in the entire game, and that's why you should get it first, because it's going to just boost your coin economy so much more than the other two. However, once you're talking about investing a little bit, because this video is for both mid to late game, or sorry, early to mid game, so you're going to have some investments. I think Golden Tower is the worst of the three because of the versatility of the other two. With Golden Tower, you're only getting coins and cash, even though it is a ridiculous amount of coins. I think compared to the other two, it just doesn't quite shape up, even though it is still absolutely amazing, and that is why it is in the A tier. So, following Golden Tower, we have my recommendation for the fourth ultimate weapon. My personal favorite is Spotlight. And Spotlight is going to go straight up here to the very top of S tier. It is the single best ultimate weapon in the entire game, in my opinion. The reason for that is it pairs with absolutely every ultimate weapon in the entire game except for Chrono Field. It is simply the most versatile ultimate weapon in the entire game. It does not require a large stone investment. I mean, it requires around 1800 in my opinion to get really good. To get quantity 3 Spotlight and to get around a 40-degree angle is kind of the minimum investment that I would recommend. But that is going to give you a large coverage area. And with 2 black holes, if you're not running Primordial Collapse, then you will almost always have a Spotlight in one of your 2 black holes with 3 or I think you always do have a Spotlight in a black hole. So that being said, like I said, it pairs with every single thing. So it pairs with Death Wave by making your kill wall last longer from the Spotlight multiplier. It's also going to pair with all 3 of the Golden Trio because it also has the Coin Lab. So with coin economy, it is huge. It is the the 4th econ ultimate weapon. And then it's going to give you EHP from making your kill wall last longer with Death Wave. It's going to give you econ from all 3 of these, and then also when you're transitioning to Glass Cannon, it is simply a damage multiplier, and that number gets up there pretty good. And then kind of the icing on the cake is actually the interaction between Spotlight and the Super Tower Mastery for once you're really getting into Glass Cannon, because that Spotlight multiplier is then added into the Super Tower multiplier, giving you even more return of investment. It's almost like a double dipping of your damage, because you're getting the Spotlight damage in the Super Tower multiplier, and then your damage is also getting multiplied by Spotlight once it's going out. So, my opinion on Chain Lightning, and the thumbnail is a little bit of a bait. I don't think Chain Lightning is actually D tier. However, I'm going to put it in the C tier. I don't think it holds a candle in any capacity to these 4 up here. I don't think it deserves quite B tier. But the main benefit of Chain Lightning is the ridiculously low point of investment that you need for it to carry you all the way through Champions Tournament. So you only need to invest roughly 700 stones into your Chain Lightning, which is less than a stone pack. And your Chain Lightning will be able to carry you all the way through Champions as your damage ultimate weapon. It is really cheap to get into. The labs are really quick for the shock and shock multiplier, and you can do all of this with just an epic Dimension Core. And realistically, you don't even need the Dimension Core, because if you put just a tiny bit more investment than that, the Chain Lightning is going to probably kill stuff by itself without the stacking multiplier of the Dimension Core. But that being said, I don't think it holds a candle to these. It actually hurts your coins per hour farm if you do not turn it off in run. So, I mean, it's very simple to do. All you do is come here and click it off. But, you know, you do have to remember to do that for your farming runs, which is why I don't think I can give it above a C tier. Following the ultimate Chain Lightning is going to be the Inner Landmines, which I think, like I said, is kind of tied with Chronofield for that utility slot as the 6th ultimate weapon. Personally, I chose Inner Landmines first, and we're going to go ahead and drop that in, honestly, I'm going to actually drop Chain Lightning down to D tier, so I guess the thumbnail wasn't bait. So Inner Landmines here is going to go into the C tier, and I'm going to go ahead and put Chronofield with it, and we'll get into both of those. But with Inner Landmines, I want to say it's only around a 650 stone investment that you need to get the quantity to a appropriate level and the cooldown down to a 2-minute 30 seconds. And the reason you want that is that pairs with the boss spawn time of Legends tournaments. So it's not a huge stone investment for for ILM, and you will have pretty good return of the extra CC that you get from it. I don't think the damage is very good. It's not worth investing into. However, the extra CC that you're going to get from the labs are really worth it. And also, speaking of that, you do want to get the ILM rotation lab done while you're investing the stones into it. And then kind of the opposite of that is the Chronofield. I feel that Chronofield is overall more useful than ILM. However, it is a much more expensive lab to get into. It is personally, for me, going to be my next ultimate weapon as my number 7. But it is very expensive to get into. The biggest thing for it is it has a 3-month lab to get the maxed out gold box duration for the lab. And you kind of want to do that before you invest too many stones into it, because if you accidentally overinvest your stones into duration, you just don't get extra duration from it, and you will have spent stones that you could have labbed instead. And that's pretty unfortunate, and a lot of newer players aren't going to know that. However, it is a very large stone investment still, so hopefully they will have seen something before getting to that point. But with all of the lab time required, and then also the stone investment required to get a perma Chronofield, which in my opinion, if you do not have perma Chronofield, it's not even that useful. But to get to that perma Chronofield level requires a very large amount of both stone and lab time investment. And even myself, I don't feel that I could personally perma a Chronofield lab right now with all of the other labs I want to get done. So I don't think I could put it above ILM as my recommendation. And for the last 2 ultimate weapons, I'm gonna put Smart Missiles 1 above Chain Lightning. And the reason for that is the Missile Amplifier lab. So the way Missile Amp works is every time an enemy gets hit with a Smart Missile or a Spotlight Missile, it gains a stacking multiplier that makes your Smart Missile or Spotlight missiles do more damage. And because of that multiplier, I am actually able to still kill things with my Devo damage build with no damage cards in, towards the end of my farming runs. You could even see it on this run here. I will likely be killing some bosses and stuff with my Smart Missiles, even though I have virtually no investment into my. Actually, I might have like a blue or a white Smart Missile damage here, but I have virtually no investment, less than 100 stones invested into my smart missiles, and yet I'm going to be able to kill things with it. That and then the spotlight missiles are absolutely huge, and I'm currently working on a smart missile build. I'll be posting a guide on that probably in about 2 months now, of doing some kind of orbless smart missile like S-Max Devo build, and because of that, also it is very cheap to sync your smart missiles. As you see here, I have mine as 2 minutes, and my Death Wave and Golden Tower are also at a 2-minute sync. So that being said, I can leave my smart missiles on 100% of the time, and it will never be a coin loss for me, because it's always going off during my sync and killing everything. So because of that, and it not hurting econ, is the only reason I'm giving it slightly above Chain Lightning. And then now for my personal last recommendation, the number 9 slot, as in the last ultimate weapon you should get. I'm actually going to put it at the highest of D tier. So it is going to be the best of the 3 damage ultimate weapons according to my tier list. And this is kind of where I got into the beginning of the video, where it's more about talking about it than it is the actual tier list ranking here, because I'm still recommending Swamp as number 9, but then why am I putting it first here? And the reason is, it's an 1800 stone investment to get perma poison swamp, and then the labs are also pretty cheap to start for the stun. So with 1800 stones, and I want to say it's only a couple 100,000 coins, yeah, 653 with my level of workshop or lab reduction, which is not very high. So probably, let's just say 750,000, and I think that's actually probably eyeballing that. With 750,000, you're going to be able to unlock Swamp Stun, and then Perma Swamp is after 1800 stones. And I'm actually going to be testing this with a free-to-play Baby Glass Cannon account with Poison Swamp, hopefully as one of my first 2 ultimate weapons. And actually, I'm going to restart the account if I don't get it as my first. So, with the Poison Swamp Slow plus the Swamp Stun, and it only costing 1800 stones to get it as a perma, I think it's pretty useful as a both CC, and then it also doubles and gives you pretty good damage for whenever you're trying to push tournaments. And I'm going to build an account completely around this. So I haven't fully tested this yet, but I see a lot of people even now, shout out to Spartan once again, but he was actually just talking, he got his perma poison swamp here recently, and he was really liking it. And I've heard several other players as well recently talking about how they're just now getting to their poison swamps perma, and they're really liking the performance of it, the damage it's providing, the CC it's providing. Overall, it's a pretty awesome ultimate weapon. I think it even gives like a 20% slow. So that's going to be it for the ultimate weapon tier list, guys. And once again, huge congratulations to Carter Lane 4013. Please reach out and claim your giveaway. I'm going to give it a week, and if it hasn't been claimed, then I will re-roll the giveaway. But that being said, if you don't mind, it is absolutely free and costs you nothing. Just leave a like and subscribe on the video. And with that being said, guys, just remember, it's a good day to have a great day.